Hello friends, Adam here with FED. I've recently, and by recently I mean I started it yesterday, have fallen in love with a new strategy game that is a mix of Fire Emblem and Tactics, not Tactics Ogre, sorry, Ogre Battle, which is something that I didn't know I needed, but I'm glad it's here. It is incredible. Symphony of War is again, surface level, you just look at it, you think, oh, that's Fire Emblem. You have the little characters on the map, you click them, the blue squares and the red squares pop up, you move them around, you kill things, it's great. That's just how it is. But just below that, just below the surface, there is an incredible amount of depth in unit customization, party composition, and just strategies and tactics on the battlefield. It's incredibly fun. So every unit on the map is made up of a bunch of smaller characters inside of that unit that you can customize to an extreme degree. There's classes, items that you can use on them, skills that you can give them, and all sorts of things that make every party feel incredibly unique from one another. You can do all sorts of crazy things too. Like I have one party that one unit that has multiple characters in it, which I'm calling parties at this point. I have one party that is all healers. Normally you put like a healer or two in your squad that like is attacking enemies, and during battle, instead of attacking like the rest of your units would do, they heal your units from after the enemy's attack, just making it easier to survive and your units stay healthy and stuff, right? But because I have a full party of healers, I can move around and heal my other squads, my other parties, more than once per turn. So like you move next to them, you use the heal option, and then you can heal 3 times because I have 3 healers in one party. And it doesn't feel overpowered, but it feels incredibly useful, especially since I don't feel like I always have an opportunity to attack with every single party because of choke points or whatever else. Another one of my favorite parties that I have right now is I have a squad leader or a party leader that has a lot of leadership points, and the leadership points affect how many characters you can have in one party. So I have a squad leader with a lot of leadership points, but then I just gave him a bunch of archers in his party. So he just has 5 archers in his party. So he can just park behind one of my other units and then attack from a distance, and they just melt enemy HP bars. Really good for bosses too, because the bosses can be particularly scary and they don't all have 2 range. So you use my super archery unit to just like reduce the enemy's HP by half or even kill some of the enemies, and then I move in with like a really strong unit or party that I have and just demolish them. And it's really fun that way. On top of that, like for combat things, while you're upgrading your skill tree, there's a big skill tree that applies to your entire army. I like that. So not every little unit has a skill tree, but your entire army has a skill tree. And as you level that up, there are like some like attack options that you're given. So you can like just attack normally, or you can attack aggressively, which allows you to deal 15% more damage, but it makes it so the enemy deals 35% more damage to you. There's the cautious attack, which you deal 15% less damage, but you also take 35% less damage. So it's like all give and take and stuff. And then there's another cool option called the forced surrender when you attack. So there is depending on your enemy's morale, they might just surrender to you if you use forced surrender. And their morale is affected by like damage they've taken, how many battles they've won, if their party leader is dead. Things like that can really affect their morale. So say if they have like low morale and I have high morale and I use forced surrender, they might just not even attack me. The battle might not even happen, and then I get to take them and then essentially sell them back to the enemy after the chapters end for money and for like stars and stuff that do other things, faction points. And but the cool thing about it is like I thought, oh well, you lose some experience and get some money, but no, your units still get all the experience that they would have gotten, or some of it that they would have gotten from killing those enemies. So it's really cool that way. And so if you use forced surrender and they don't surrender on their own, you lose 1 round of combat, where there's 2 rounds of combat in every in every encounter. You lose your first round of combat, but then you can attack after that, and anything you kill there, it forces them to surrender. So you give up essentially half of your attack power, but you gain the ability to capture these enemies. It's just really cool stuff. Really deep, interesting, fun tactics game that I am really, really enjoying. And the sprite work, honestly, pretty good. The animations are clean and smooth and quick and fast. The way they attack and stuff actually reminds me a lot of Suikoden. I don't know if any of you have played Suikoden, but the way that you select all your options and then everything happens really fast with the attacks and everything. It's just really quick looking. It looks really good. The animations and art style, the battles and stuff, feel like a cross between a Fire Emblem and a Advance Wars, where you have multiple units doing things, but then they have crit animations and stuff like that. So really, really interesting, fun game. And I even I asked for a review copy of this game and didn't get it. So this isn't sponsored or anything. I didn't get this game for free. It just looks so good that I had to play it. And yeah, it turned out to be as good as I thought it would. Maybe it'll crap out later on down the line. Again, I'm only 7 chapters in, and if it does crap out and get worse, I'll make another video fixing this claim that it's so good. But at this point, I can't really see that happening because it's incredible. It is so incredible. And outside of gameplay, the story's okay. I'm enjoying reading through it for at least the first playthrough. I doubt I'll read it ever again. And also their supports that I personally don't care for. I skip them, but I'm sure some people will be really into the supports because there are quite a larger number than I expected of cast members who are have actual faces and voice lines and stuff on the map. But then you can make parties out of generics and stuff too, which is honestly some of my favorite parties are out of generics. So, but also a lot of the unique characters, the ones with faces and voices, they have unique classes that are really good and stuff too. So really interesting, cool game. It's on Steam. It's only on Steam, I think. I don't know. Maybe it's on Epic. I doubt it though. But it's only on played on your computer. But I'm sure this could run on a toaster. It's not super graphically intensive or anything. You don't need a top-end PC. I'm sure you could play it on your $300 Walmart laptop or whatever, or your computer from 10 years ago. But despite that, it's an incredibly deep and interesting game. So let me know what you think about it. This is a hard recommend for me for any tactics fan. Okay, so I guess I better say the negative things really quick. A couple of negative things. The UI is a little cumbersome to get used to. Once you get used to it, it's not too bad. And if you don't like to micromanage your armies and stuff, and Fire Emblem, whatever, you definitely aren't going to like micromanaging your armies here, because there's a lot of units that are all customizable. lots of units inside of your parties, and you have you have 6 or 7, 8, 9, 10 parties at some point, and you have to manage all of the units inside of those parties. It's a little overwhelming at first, but if you just take it one bite at a time, you'll get there, and it's pretty fun. So those are my 2 gripes that I have with the game. Well, one's less of a gripe, and one's just just the nature of the game it is with the micromanaging. But yeah, the UI is a little rough. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Did you have you played this game? If you have, are you enjoying it? Are you going to pick it up? I don't know. Do you have any questions? I can answer some questions for you. I would be interested to hear all that. Honestly, I'm just happy this game ended up being good. After being burned by Dark Deity being honestly kind of a trashy game, this is super fun. I kind of expected this to be less deep than it is, or less interesting than it was, but I read some reviews and I was like, okay, this seems pretty dope. Whereas with Dark Deity, I was like, okay, this game's going to be really good. It's Fire Emblem or whatever, and it just kind of disappointed me by a long shot. Symphony of War is really, really good. Check it out, guys.